Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Janelle, and I wanted to post this video on Mother's Day, but I thought maybe some people wouldn't really appreciate this video, so I'm just like I took a little time, I thought about it, I gave it a lot of thought because it's very personal. Um, but I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into the video. So, excuse my hair. Um, this is my ectopic pregnancy story. So my husband and I, we've been together for a long time. We were trying for a baby, and I finally got pregnant. I called him. I told him. I said, "Oh yeah, we're pregnant. We're so excited. We're happy." But we decided to just, play it by ear, see what's happening. So I started to have some spotting, and I called the nurse, and she told me that's normal. Um, back it up, back it up, back it up. So I was like whole weekend I was having like back pain and like I feel nauseous and my sorry about that. My husband was walking around in the background. Yeah, so I called the nurse and I told her about my back pain, the spotting and everything. She said, "Oh, that's normal. First time mothers sometimes get the implantation bleeding, and so don't worry about it and everything." So, but I still felt a little off. But I thought, okay, well, we're really excited to be pregnant, so why just jinx it? Let's just pray that everything is okay. Anyway, the weekend went by, still having a spotting. It never went heavy, just still spotting, pain and everything. And my husband dropped me off. I was fresh to the military. My husband dropped me off, and he went back to his unit. And I ended up like having to go. I'm sorry, TMI, but I had ended up feeling like I had to go poop. So I went to the bathroom and I passed out on the toilet. And I woke up and I was in this incredible amount of pain, like pain that I've never felt in my whole entire life. So I'm crawling to the phone. I couldn't make it to the hotel phone. So I grabbed my cell phone. I guess it was in my pocket. And I called my husband and told him I was in pain and everything. And they ended up calling 911 from his unit. And they called 911. And before they even got there, I passed out again. I ended up on the floor with my pants and underwear like around my ankle. I guess I never got a chance to pull it up. And I woke up to the EMT in my room. And they asked me if I knew who I was and where I was. And I was telling them, yes, I know who I am. They asked me what's going on. I told them I was in pain. And they asked me the last thing I remember. And I told them. And they took me out on the stretcher into the ambulance. And then one of the guys, he was so sweet. He held my hand and he asked me to look in my underwear to see if there was any bleeding. I told him no, there wasn't any bleeding. And he said, well, that might be a good sign because, you're not bleeding and hemorrhaging. So maybe you're okay. Maybe it's just, appendix or something. Anyway, got to the hospital, laid on the bed and in the hallway waiting for them to give me a room. And I passed out again on the bed in the hallway and I was sweating but shivering, and it was like, wow, this is not a good sign. So they took me to the room, and the nurse had to help me to go to the bathroom because they wanted to test my urine to make sure that I was pregnant. I went, and I could barely stand up. And when I finally got to the room and lay down, I was just in so much pain, and they gave me morphine. And I asked them, I said, is this okay for the baby? And they said, yeah, it's fine. It's so young, it's fine. So I got the morphine and everything, waiting for my husband to show up. He's like 2.5 hours away. And they took me in to go do an ultrasound and did ultrasound and saw that there was no baby in my uterus, but my pregnancy lab came back pregnant. So anyway, my husband ended up driving down. I don't know what happened or whatever, but and I was waiting. I told him, I said, I would not go into surgery until my husband get here because what if I died? I wouldn't have been able to, say anything to him. And they was like, no, you have to go. You can't wait. And I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. And I was being hard-headed. Finally, like, they waited. The doctor who was supposed to do my surgery, she came in. She said, I cannot wait any longer. If you wait any longer, oh, I'm sorry. If you wait any longer for this surgery, you will die. You're having internal bleeding and you're gonna die. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, fine. As soon as they was about to wheel me out, my husband showed up. And he was crying, I was crying. And I was like, I'm so sorry, babe. And he's like, you know, you didn't do anything. And I was like, I know, but I felt so terrible, you know, like I was losing a baby. I couldn't give him a baby. Anyway, I told him, I kissed him. I said, if I don't make it out the surgery, I love you. To my family, I love them and everything. And he was like, you know, you're going to be fine. And they wheel me in. And and just like that, I was out. I was already like on the verge anyway. So I was out in like within like seconds because I don't even remember. I was in surgery for, I think, between 12 to 14 hours. She said, the doctor told me everything. She said, when she opened me up, there was so much blood, and she tried to stop the bleeding, and it just kept bleeding. I ended up getting like several units of blood and plasma. And when I woke up out of surgery, my doctor came to me and she talked to me. The next day, she came back to see me and she said, I cannot believe you're alive. I cannot believe you made it. Like when we were in surgery, it was touch and go. And you're here and you're talking, and I'm just so excited. And she was awesome. And I ended up staying in the hospital for a while. I ended up being off for about 6 weeks. I mean, it was major surgery. I have a scar from one side of my abdomen to the other, and I have one also on my belly button, which she tried to go through my belly button at first. And then I eventually got better and healed, and I ended up losing one of my tube. I still have 2 ovaries, but I only have 1 fallopian tube. And we still ended up struggling and and it took us a really long time to have my daughter. But I just want to give somebody some hope. You know, like, I never thought it would happen, and it happened on its own. We did try fertility treatments and everything, but we got pregnant with my daughter on our own. We didn't do anything. We just did the deed, and and she's here. And I mean, although I struggle with my pregnancy, which is another story, I struggled throughout my whole pregnancy, I'm just grateful. So I'm just here to give somebody some kind of hope. Like, listen, I know what it's like to have a Mother's Day and people say Happy Mother's Day to everybody, and you feel like the worst person in the world because you're not a mom, or you've been trying for a long time, and people are asking you, so when are you going to have a baby? And they don't even know your struggle. They don't know the heartache. They don't know the pain that you've been through. They don't know anything. And I mean, I'm getting like really emotional talking about it, but I know the struggle. I know how hard it is. And I'm just here to give you some hope. Like, it can happen. Just keep the faith. Just keep praying. Keep hoping. Just never give up, because like, there's times that I wanted to give up, and my husband was like, look, we're not. He's the glass half full type of person. And I'm so grateful for that, because he never let me give up. He never let me stop. He never let me keep trying. And for that, I am so happy, because my daughter is here. And for you, I don't know your struggle. I don't know how long it's been. I don't know how long it's going to be. But all I know is that if you keep hope and keep praying, and if it doesn't happen, there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not a bad person. You're still a woman. You just aren't able to have a baby. But there's other ways to be a mom. And I know that I told my husband, I said, if we couldn't have done it by ourselves, I was willing and open to adopting. And that's something that I would have done if that was what my path was. But we have one, and I would like to have more, but if I can't, I would still be open to adopting, because there's so many kids out there that need a home. But anyway, that's my ectopic pregnancy story. I just want to tell you, although you're hopeful and you really want it to happen, there are warning signs that I ignored because I was so hoping that it was going to be a real pregnancy. So, like, if you notice some stuff and you notice stuff and you feel like it isn't right, it probably isn't, and you need to give your doctor a call, or the nurse, or whoever, because I ignored so many things that looking back, I'm like, those are signs that something wasn't wrong. Although with my daughter, I did end up having bleeding throughout my whole pregnancy. But for that, I kept going back to the doctor, because I was like, I'm not going through that again. Like, I almost died, and I wasn't going to go through that again. But I just want to give somebody some hope. Just keep your eyes out for the warning signs. However, don't give up, because even though you may be spotting and all these other things, it may still be okay. I'm not a doctor. I'm just somebody who's been through something, and I just want to give somebody, a little glimpse of hope out there. Anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. I thank you guys so much for watching. I am very appreciative of you guys, and for the little bit of subscribers that I have, and for the ones that keep coming back, I really appreciate you. I mean, sometimes my channel is about hair and makeup and all this stuff, but today it isn't. And I'm not a Debbie Downer. I just want to tell you guys my story, give you a little piece of me, a little piece of my background. Anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. Stay beautiful. God bless you. Bye.